I just wanted to introduce you to two of our lovely clients who are both social enterprise businesses, and they've both used PR through Suzanne Howe Communications. So they are going to come up, Sam and Camilla, in a few minutes, and we're going to have a sort of question and answer, so you can find out how they've used PR and how it's benefited them. First of all, I'm going to ask Camilla to tell us about Amplify Goods, and then hopefully she can hand over to Sam so you can find out about No Going Back Clean.
Well, we are proving that soap is consequential. People often say, what do you do? And we say, well, we sell mostly soap, mostly business to business. But that is absolutely not what matters. What matters is that we create work for homeless and disabled people through all of that packaging. We sell almost no plastic, single-use plastic. We are accredited as low carbon for some of our products, but we are a Black-owned, LGBT-owned, women-owned social enterprise. So I don't really mind the reason why clients switch their soap to us, but they'll probably have a raft of reasons. And if that's because they've got a disabled kid and they really care about that thing, great. If that's because they want to empower SMEs in the UK, great. But we've got a lot of reasons that people move to us, so we're growing quite well at the moment, and really pleased to be working with Suzanne Howe for a couple of years now.
Thank you, Camilla. Thank you. So Sam, tell us about No Going Back Clean.
Hi everyone. So No Going Back Cleaning Support Services is a social enterprise commercial cleaning company, and we exist to support men and women coming out of prison with work and training opportunities. We're on a bit of a mission to try to deliver an excellent cleaning service and compete in the industry, and we're a livery-backed initiative. So in the City of London, we have about 42 livery companies that have supported the kind of startup and growth of NGB.
Can I just add one thing, assuming that only about 10% of the room actually knows what a social enterprise is?
Please
is that
do.
Right? So a social enterprise is an organisation that balances people, planet and profit. So it can be a charity, it's not always a charity, and we as an example aren't a charity. You are or aren't, or a mix of both, owned by a charity. So you might have sipped Bellew water or changed Please coffee or drunk Nemi teas or had a pint of toast ale in the pub. They're all social enterprises. You might have swum in a JLL swimming pool, Better Gyms, massive social enterprise in the UK. And now, undoubtedly, you've washed your hands with Amplify Goods soap because we're in tens of thousands of bathrooms now across the UK. So we're social enterprises. We're doing that balancing thing, and most social enterprises work with a disadvantaged group of people through some sort of employment model and get people into work, which is vital. So hopefully that background's useful.
Do you have some stats?
Oh yeah, there are 131,000 social enterprises in the UK, contributing 78 billion to the UK economy and generating 2.3 million jobs. So sometimes people go, oh, it's lovely, you're a social enterprise, almost like patting us on the head. But the social enterprise sector is massive in the UK, and it's growing because of the support of industries like the cleaning industry that's really getting behind it. And that, I think, is because it's a very people-focused industry. And secondly, it's because of the marketing support that we get through organisations like Suzanne.
So marketing obviously is a huge word and can cover many, many tactics. And as SHC has primarily been a PR company for many, many years. I'm going to ask Sam and Camilla, why did they choose PR out of all the marketing tactics that they could have selected?
So for NGB CLEAN, 16 months ago when I came into the business and we started out with our first 2 contracts, it was pretty much just me. It's not far off that now, but obviously as a small startup, non-for-profit with not a huge budget, for us it was the most effective and efficient way of getting our message out there. And I think it was also less clinical and more personable. Obviously I met you, which was a gift, and we managed, you kind of bought into what we were doing, you believed in us, and I guess we've got that message out there, and people have got the message behind us just being a cleaning company or a social enterprise. We are here to impact people's lives and make a difference.
Well, I guess it's been a journey of learning what PR is, actually, because you can know, like, okay, right, we're launching this brand, or we've launched with a new client, or there's these news stories to tell, but we needed help as a small business. We have, like, fractional marketing resource, fractional sales resource. So having a professional team to help us script press releases and target them at the right audiences at the right time is crucial. We cannot know everyone in the industry, it's impossible, but it's almost like this amplification of good that we can do through PR. So it's a great tool for us to get the message into the hands and the eyes of the right people. And I think compared to some industry sectors, I guess the media can sometimes not be so strong, but in the cleaning sector, it feels really strong. Like it's led by some great magazines and media companies, and I think you all in the industry engage and read that content and come to things like this, and it really works in the cleaning sector to help us get our ideas and our opportunities out there.
I think it is fair to be said that I think the cleaning magazines are very well respected in the cleaning sector, including Cleaning Matters. With PR, and Camilla I think has already mentioned this, and maybe Sam has touched on it too, it's about your audience and about reaching them properly or correctly, and the use of PR in a really good way is very important. So I'm going to ask them, they want to obviously reach their customers. They could go to their customers one by one. They probably do have sales meetings, but actually what PR does is reach a much wider audience of potential customers as well as the customers that you're already working for. I think it would be quite interesting to find out what Camilla and Sam say to who are they trying to target in terms of their customers.
Well, the beauty of soap is that everyone washes their hands,
Yeah,
so
true.
everyone's our target. But the biggest FMs that we're growing with at the moment, the likes of Churchill, Sodexo, ISS, Mighty, we're getting there with Compass and others as well. OCS is, we're close. Andron, Atlas, things are really growing nicely. And I think lots of that is it's almost feeling just in the last month like it's bigger than me. So last month we won HSBC, Barclays and Samsung as examples. And I did not go to a single sales meeting for any of those things. And when that happens as a small business, you know that something shifted. And that's what you need as a small business. You need other people rallying behind the cause, and then it feels like a movement. So I'm massively appreciative to Bunzl Cleaning and Hygiene Suppliers and the wider sort of Bunzl UK and Ireland group. We have an exclusive range with them called Remind, which Suzanne was helpful enough to help us launch last year, and that's led to so much of the growth. So, Bunzl's a big market segment for us, but we also work with other distributors as well. And I think our new range, which is Sud Zero, that we launched 2 months ago, also with the PR support of Suzanne and the team, we're targeting much more of the big public spaces and schools and lots of other industries that sometimes people go, oh, social enterprise, that's got to be expensive. And we go, well, actually, 50% of social enterprises are cost competitive or cheaper. And I think that's the reminder that people need to go, don't just write us off as being not commercially savvy, because I'll give you a run for your money for sure. I think there's a way in cost in use to beat the likes of X, Y, and Z, who I won't name because some of them are outside. But come to us, let us challenge that, and you could get social value, environmental footprint reduction, supporting local small businesses, black-owned, LGBT-owned businesses, all of that. And when those big companies know that, then you start creating a movement, and that's where we are.
Just putting a little bit of a different spin on it, because obviously you helped us launch Ride, Recycle, Repeat, which if probably most of the people in the room won't know, that is about bringing the recycling of bicycle inner tubes and tyres to the corporate world in corporate buildings in central London to start with. And I think it's really important to point out that actually you did PR for us, and we reached not only the cleaning industry, but most importantly, we reached the cycling community. And as a result of that, BritishCycling.org reached out to me, and it became really apparent that first of all, there are 10 million kilograms of inner tubes and tyres going to landfill every year, but there are no mainstream solutions. So what happened is I got a lot of cycle clubs, BritishCycling.org reached out to me, basically kind of saying that we don't have a solution for this is great, how can we get involved? And the drive for us to launch this was not to monopolise the recycling of inner tubes and tyres, it was to create an initiative to make people aware that they could recycle their inner tubes and tyres, and that's exactly what we did. So we were then able to put the cycling community directly in touch with Valorum, who recycle the inner tubes and tyres, so they could become a collection centre and provide that service to cyclists. So our mission was not necessarily to just provide a service, it was to get the message out there, and that's exactly what we did. As I said earlier, NGB CLEAN is a social enterprise, but I've been in the industry for 25 years, so I've been on a mission to put my 25 years of experience into a really small business and create something that has, I guess we make our mark on the industry, but we do things well. Sustainability is something really I'm super passionate about. And we started out looking at recycled uniforms, and then I kind of thought, what's the point in having recycled uniforms if everything else we do, we kind of neglect to think about the impact on the environment. So I call it my no stone unturned approach to sustainability. And if we can do it, then we're doing it. And I'm really proud to say that in the 16 months, we have delivered cleaning without the use of disposable gloves. Sometimes I think people think I'm crazy because I talk about this so much, but I think it's really important because I have just been able to review the last 12 months and evidence that on one site I have saved over 3,000 disposable gloves with one cleaner, which is 67,000 grams of carbon saved in a year. And so we're about to, in partnership with MSC, our supplier, with Suzanne Howe supporting us with the PR, and also several different cleaning companies that are interested in the gloves that we're using, we want to create a campaign, an initiative to reach out to the cleaning industry, to challenge the industry to get on board and to start making steps towards reducing the use of disposable gloves. So that will be what's coming next.
Sud Zero still seems very new because we only launched it in September, but in typical fashion with a team that's too small and doing too many things, we just launched a shampoo and body wash range that's going into sort of corporate gym and shower areas. And we also just launched a metal plaque. So if you didn't want to buy fancy glass bottles to put our soap on the wall, you can stick it in an ugly plastic dispenser. I don't really care where you put the soap, as long as you're buying it and you're creating social good, measurable social good, by going to our website, amplifygoods.org/impact, and you can see the calculator there. You can put in the number of 5 litres you buy, and you can switch that with us, but you can see the impact you create, the jobs you can create for homeless and disabled people. So even that wall plaque, an aluminium wall plaque that sticks on the wall and tells that story, these little things are really useful. And I'm just so annoyed that I keep receiving comments like, oh, you've got a shampoo, so why don't you have a conditioner? And now I have to start again and make a conditioner. So yeah, we'll have a conditioner sometime in 2026.
PR is a difficult thing to measure, as many of you that have done it probably will find. But I think it's about opportunity. It's about building a brand, and it's about creating opportunity with your customers, with partnerships, and potential customers. I'd like to ask Sam, has the PR, and actually we've only been working with Sam for a year, this year, has the PR that we've done so far helped create any opportunities for No Going Back Clean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for us, it's been about getting our name out there, getting our brand out there. And I think most importantly, the professionalism that I think PR creates, it's about people taking you seriously. So, as a small company, it's so difficult to pitch and just to get yourself in front of people. But actually, I think the professionalism of having an article run and most of the kind of publications in the industry getting behind you definitely has created a kind of image of us that has definitely been taken seriously. So just in terms of monetary terms, when I took over the business 16 months ago, we started out with our first 2 contracts that were worth around about 120,000, and we're now turning over nearly £750,000 in 16 months. And that's from scratch. So absolutely, it's had a huge impact, and definitely I think people are talking about it, which is great.
Well, drum roll, I was asking the team to run the numbers yesterday, and it's almost like it happened by accident. But so yesterday, the team were at Crisis. We're actually based at Crisis, the homelessness charity. We've got a warehouse area that's a couple of times, maybe the size of the stage, and from there we can do a lot. Yesterday, we crossed the 1,000 hours mark this year. Yesterday. 1,000 hours of impact hours, that we call them, for people with experiences of homelessness, people with disabilities, prison leavers, victims of domestic abuse. 1,000 hours yesterday. And then, I just think it must be by chance, but ran the numbers as well for our social value. And to date, in the few years that we've been running, in the last month or so, we just crossed the £1 million of social value. So here we are, ready for news coming out in the industry, whoever might be in the room. Let's get a press release out. But yeah, this is news. This is news that's important. But, you know, if you remember one thing about us when you leave the room, it's that soap is consequential. So please help us make it more impactful for more people by switching that inconsequential gunk that's in some plastic dispenser on the wall that your teams fill up all the time to something that matters. And we can do that with a vegan 99% naturally derived formulation that's made in the UK with no synthetic colours and no synthetic fragrances either. So let's do it. Make the 1,000, 2,000. Let's go for it.
Sometimes you don't want to spend your money on a massive sales team, and PR might just be the answer.
I can probably meet about 100 people a week, right? And that's busy, but I don't know about you, but I'm going to multiple events. This is my second one in 12 hours. I go to multiple events and we meet a lot of people, but if we're going to get soap to the volume we want in the UK, it needs to be bigger than a single person, and that is the beauty of PR and scripting that story. And yes, we can speak on stage and say things a bit off script, and that works, but sometimes you do need to really think about those facts, back things up, get it in a press release and get it out to the world. And that's, God, I'm so pleased that we're working with Suzanne Howe. And I would highly recommend for any team that wants a bit of that extra support to reach out to Steph, who's in the front, or Suzanne Howe here. So, yeah, big advocates from our end.
Thank you.
It's the consistency as well, consistency of that communication, if you can get that out there. And on a regular basis, you know, not every month or anything like that, but even if it's, you know, once a quarter, once every 6 months, I think that consistency of seeing your brand out there
really
is definitely
important.
Yeah, focused actually.
Yeah, it's funny. We have had some clients in the past where we have our status meetings, and we go, "Is there any news?" And they go, "No," and the whole thing just falls down because they haven't got anything really to say. So that we're the messengers really to give that news. So the more news and the busier we are really, and the better your brand is built. So yes, it's important.